recent interview that is very, very interesting. Donald Trump was interviewed and asked about Ben Carson and some of the things Ben Carson has said, some of the things Ben Carson has written, etc. And Donald Trump decided to sort of compare Ben Carson to a child molester. Now, I can't really do justice to the incredibly nuanced and interesting way in which Donald Trump drew a correlation between Ben Carson and a child molester. So I'm going to play the clip for you from the Aaron Burnett show. Let's listen to Ben Carson being called, being sort of equated to a child molester by Republican candidate Donald Trump.
Well, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I like him. I get along with him very well. I just don't know. And don't forget, this is in his book. I'm not bringing up anything that's not in his book. And, you know, when he says he went after his mother and wanted to hit her in the head with a hammer, that bothers me.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty bad. When he says he's pathological, and he says that in the book, I don't say that. And again, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything other than pathological is a very serious disease. And he said he's pathological. Somebody said he has pathological disease. Other people said he said in the book, and I haven't seen it, I know it's in the book, that he's got a pathological temper or temperament. That's a big problem because you don't cure that. That's like, you know, I could say, they'd say you don't cure, as an example, child molester. You don't cure these people. You don't cure a child molester. There's no cure for it. Pathological, there's no cure for that. Now, I didn't say it. He said it in his book.
Yeah. So if you were playing buzzword bingo during that interview with just the words pathological and cure, you'd be wasted by now, Lewis, if you were playing a drinking game with that. My immediate thought when I saw this was not that there's anything really that interesting in it, other than that infighting among the two Republican leading candidates is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And Donald Trump is continuing to make outrageous comments. My first thought when I saw this was that whatever he's doing in a tanning booth is looking really strange. He's got this, his eyes look like they're about to, 20 shades lighter than the rest of his face, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, no, the physical, I don't care. I don't use physical appearance to determine whether someone is a good candidate or not, but Donald Trump's physical appearance here, where his lips and his eyes are not tan and everything else looks like more orange than John Boehner, it is downright bizarre. But to the comments, Ben Carson said when he was younger he had a pathological temper. Now that may have been a lie because most of the stories that CNN has tried to verify from Ben Carson's youth, they've not been able to verify a single one of them. But he never said he was pathological or had a pathological disease, as Donald Trump is talking about here. The more and more that Donald Trump and Ben Carson get involved in a combination of bizarre lies and childish attacks, the more Marco Rubio is going to have a shot at being the nominee.
Yeah, you'd imagine that, I hate to call him a real candidate, but you'd imagine that Rubio should be the guy in this mess of the GOP. But let him go at it.
The other thing that every day is helping Marco Rubio is not only infighting between Donald Trump and Ben Carson, but also Jeb Bush continuing to be a non-factor. And for all the criticisms of Donald Trump referring to Jeb Bush as a low-energy guy, it is really actually insightful in the sense that when I see Jeb Bush talk, and the new thing is Jeb can fix it, whatever, his speeches, they trigger nothing in me emotionally. I see it and I go, I don't even really get very angry with the dumb stuff he says because he's just so low energy. I don't even know that he cares about what he's saying.
Yeah, it doesn't really help. You look back at McCain, and McCain had great energy, right?
To some extent.
Yeah, I just think he just, I don't know how else to say it. I think he had a bit more energy, and I think I could see how he fired up people a bit more. Jeb is just, he's doing nothing.